Brickmaniacs, are you ready for another episode of Brickmania TV? Cody, are you ready for another episode of Brickmania TV?
I think so.
All right, what do we got here?
We have the Char B1 Bis.
Bis, cool.
It's either Char or Char.
Char or Char, we aren't sure.
A Frenchman should explain that to us, but we don't have any here.
Cool.
So, yeah, this. So we're in Battle of France month.
Yes.
So this would be a French tank that would fight in the Battle of France, obviously defending their country.
Real good.
Originally, this tank, in development, they had 4 different companies building them.
Yeah.
Building prototypes.
Yes.
And they were doing test runs. It was kind of a funny read that a lot of the tanks either broke down or just started falling apart doing their test run. So eventually they landed on a design that was pretty similar to this. They kept changing things, kept using engines from different companies, and eventually going back to their old style. And it took them a long time to develop this tank.
Eventually they got it?
Yep.
Yeah? So it's in battle, it was decently effective?
It was a pretty decent tank.
Yeah.
They didn't have the numbers that they should have had.
Obviously.
Yeah, obviously. So it was classified as a heavy tank at the time.
Ha ha. You lost World War II. Well, I guess they won in the end. But.
Yeah. They needed a little help, but it got placed on the back burner a few different times.
Right.
So that's why they didn't have the numbers that they needed to defend themselves properly against the Germans. But it was a pretty tough tank. A tank-on-tank battle, they would win majority of their fights.
Cool.
In one instance, a tank would take on, I think it took on 13 tanks and eliminated them all. And returned back to base, I think, with like over 100.
That's pretty crazy. I didn't realize it was
wounds.
Tank wounds.
Tank wounds. Yeah, so it had a almost 2.5-inch thick armor.
Wow.
So armament-wise, it wasn't very powerful. It's got a 75 millimeter cannon in the hull.
So we got that gun right there.
Yep. And then eventually they ended up putting a 47 millimeter anti-tank gun in there also. They intended it to be a mobile artillery piece, so the turret was added in later.
Oh, interesting.
Early versions of the turret just had machine guns in it.
Okay.
But to defend itself against the tank that were coming, that the Germans were developing, they decided they needed a anti-tank gun on.
And this is that version that you're showing here.
Yep.
Cool. And there's also, it's not really it's represented on this little pyramid tile here. Yep. But that's also a machine gun, correct?
Yep. They had a machine gun
in real life, that would have been a machine gun. Cool.
Yeah. Yeah. So some people said that, or it said that this was a weak point on the tank.
Yeah.
But it really actually wasn't. There's only one instance where a Char B1 Bis was killed in that area.
Like the side of the...
And that's how people said it had a weak spot there. But it's actually 6-inch thick. They're separated plates. It's a vent for the engine.
Right.
But yeah, it's a 6-inch thick area of 28 millimeter thick, kind of zigzag intake.
So they only had one instance where it really...
Yeah, only one tank was killed like that, recorded anyways. It could have been more. They had a hatch on the side here. Yep. You could call it a French door.
Oh gosh.
That's how they get in and out of the tank. The commander can sit here on the right side. The left side is the radio right under the cupola.
Yep.
And the radios that they had initially were only Morse code radios.
Oh.
They eventually switched to radios that you could actually talk and speak into and talk to the other tanks and talk to high command, but a lot of tankers went back to the old Morse code radios because they couldn't hear the voices as well over the sound of the engine.
You kind of think that maybe Morse code, like, did you miss that beep over getting shot with a shell?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Interesting.
It's interesting.
Cool.
So one of the flaws that this tank had was it was a one-man turret. The commander was in the turret. He had to operate that machine gun, and radio, command his tank, and if he was the leader of
Right.
of a force, and he has to command the other two.
So this is a two-man crew in the, or what is
It's a
this?
four-man
crew.
I think, usually. You can actually fit a driver in here. There's a driver hatch here.
Oh, okay.
You can't get him in through that way.
I didn't even know there's a hatch there. That's cool.
Yeah, there's a driver hatch there, commander hatch, the side hatch, and then you can take the top off
Oh.
and actually get the
Show that up.
driver in there, and he fits pretty comfortably.
Nice.
You can get him with a helmet in there, maybe even a commander hat. Or
Bottle of wine,
a bottle of wine,
probably.
some French bread, and maybe a white flag.
Ooh. Ooh.
You started it. So there's an engine in there. It's an inline 6. The engine was updated in the Bis.
Cool.
Yeah. Get features. Yeah, you get that guy.
This guy with a texture printed mustache, just like in real life.
He's got the big, thick mustache because he drives the
It
heavy
corresponds with the tanks. So keep an eye out for future releases.
tank. Yeah.
We have mustaches that correspond with them.
We're also releasing a secondary crewman
Cool. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, he's available separately from this, so
separately from
you
this.
can have your entire crew for this tank.
Yeah.
All right, I think that's it. That is the episode of Brickmania TV. For more information, check out brickmania.com. And we got a hashtag going on right now, right? What is that?
Battle of France bricks.
Battle of France bricks. Use that hashtag to be entered into a chance to win prizes. Be entered into that. Yeah, you can enter that. Cool.
Don't use it on YouTube. Doesn't work on YouTube.
Doesn't work. 3, 2, 1. That's the episode. I surrender. No, don't shoot. No. White flag. I surrender. I surrender. What else surrenders on this thing? Even these little chain hooks are surrendering. What are we doing? Oh, this is stuck now.